Ladies and gentlemen of Irish Nation, welcome to the Leprechaun Connection podcast. Mike McClure here, your host. The email for the show is leprechaunconnection@gmail.com if you'd like to reach out to us. You can also visit our website at leprechaunconnection.com where you'll find a link to our Patreon and a link to donate to St. Jude. That's leprechaunconnection.com if you would like to support the show. Welcome, lads and lasses. We are back. Joining me on the show today from Florida, Mr. Bruce Ruff. What's going on, my brother?
Hey, what's up, brother? We're enjoying this nice little heat wave down here, ready to talk some Irish football.
Yeah, we got a little heat wave going on in northern Indiana, too.
Oh, really? You know what, though? It's not that. No, I'll tell you what. I'm ready to take a 30% interest loan for 15 years on a cold front. That's it's a little bad down here right now, brother.
we were at it was like in the upper 80s and it was like 100% humidity like last week. And that's about what it is at Florida, right? Usually about 90 to 100% humidity.
Oh, about 120% every day. I'm used to it, but yeah. Take a bath, walk outside, just take some shampoo with you. You're good.
Yeah. All right. Well, hello, Leprechaun Nation. We are also broadcasting live on our Facebook page, and this will also be available in audio form only, available wherever you get podcast, Apple, Spotify. You know all that stuff. You know where to find our podcast.
Yeah. If you don't want to look at our pretty faces, just go ahead and listen to us.
No, so I got to remember I can't pick my nose in this one because we're on video.
Yeah, and no stepping away from the mic to do a little business,
Yeah, sometimes, hey, you gotta break wind. You gotta break wind. Sometimes I gotta
happens.
Open my door and like air it out. Like woo.
Got to do it. Now I hope it doesn't come to that because I think my daughter might be watching this one.
Oh, okay. Well, if she is,
love you, Sid. Don't pay attention to Mike.
All right. Well, let's see here. Our first topic, Bruce. What do you think about the green uniforms for OSU and the re-signing with Under Armour?
Oh my God, I love those uniforms. I love the green pants. When those came out, I was like, wow, that is sharp. When it comes to the whole Under Armour deal, that's amazing. It all comes down to money. Obviously, when it comes to these, deals you sign, whether it's Nike, Under Armour, or whatever, Adidas. But Under Armour's really gone above and beyond the last few years. And I am really, really liking what we got coming up. Not to mention the Navy game is going to be alternate uniforms for both Navy and Notre Dame. So I'm excited to see what Under Armour has in tail for that because they're the apparel for both of us. So really big thing, and I love it. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the uniforms for the Navy game. I mean, what do you think? What do you think they're going to do? I mean,
well, they can't just go green because, green's normal. They're going to have to do something pretty crazy. I don't know if we're going to have maybe a leprechaun somewhere on there. That'd be kind of cool. Some four-leaf clovers. I'm not sure, but it's good. I'm interested to find out. Maybe a pint of beer, or we get some Irish whiskey. I mean, everybody's got to have something to drink, right?
It's some Irish whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, dude, I think they're pretty awesome. I like it. I'm a fan. It's going to be the biggest game. I wouldn't say the biggest game of the season. I mean, Sean Buck pointed that out last podcast, that USC is our biggest game. And we're going to get to the what Bruce thinks his biggest game of the schedule is here coming up. That'll be our last topic. But it's going to be the biggest home game, I think, for Ohio State.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think there's going to be a record amount of people on campus for that day. So,
we're going to find out. I mean, they're talking about a green out. So, we've seen it in the past, whether it's Georgia or these other teams coming in. We need to see a green. We do not need any of that scarlet in that stands. We need the two specific sections up here and over here, and that's it.
Yeah.
So if you've got season tickets, don't sell them to anybody but an Irish fan, please.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about that. But anyway, the video footage of practice that shows the intensity of Marcus Freeman dropping several F-bombs. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, dude?
I am so pumped watching that video. I was like, I
I'm
couldn't
telling
believe
you.
it. Yeah, and you know what's funny is you sent it to me before I've seen it online, which is usually not the case. And I was like, oh my word, did he just what? I kept watching it and watching it and watching it. I'm like, oh my God, he's got these guys fired. He had me ready to run through a wall just to go get something for lunch. Like, I'm like, man, I'm hungry. It's special teams. It's after. I'm like, yeah, let's go get something to eat. You know,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was pretty intense. I love that intensity, and I loved what I loved more about it is though the way the players responded to it.
Yes.
This team seems like a tight knit team. Really motivated. You know, this coach is probably one of the better motivational coaches we've had in Notre Dame in a while.
That was a side I've never seen or heard of from Freeman.
Exactly. I never would have thought I'd heard those words come out of his mouth.
I mean, I've seen him get excited, jump up and down, and I've heard him coaching and this and that. But when it's like it's that moment when you don't realize the cameras are on, or maybe he didn't care.
I don't think he cared.
He may not have cared. But it's just that side that you saw of coach. They're just like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Let's go
the
get
side
some.
of coach. You know, and that was my one complaint about Marcus Freeman last year, you know, being a first time head coach, and I kind of understand it is when we had him as the defensive coordinator, he'd be on the sideline. He's yeah, you know, he's all excited for everything. He seemed to me like he was into the game much more. As a head coach, it was more of I want to see your emotions. You know, he kind of reminded me last year of Tyrone Willingham. You know, Tyrone used to be didn't show his emotion. I don't like that. I want a coach that's going to go out there and jump up and down, almost tear his Achilles tendon. You know what I mean? Players respond to that kind of thing. And to see that video today, that guy's got me juiced for the season, man.
Oh yeah, dude, so excited. I saw that and like my jaw dropped. Like, whoa.
I could not believe it that those words came
And
out of his mouth.
I sent it to one of my friends who's a Ohio State fan, and they're a big Marcus Freeman fan,
Right.
and really kind of like, yeah, you got Marcus Freeman, kind of bummed, I guess, because if you feel that Freeman would be a good fit there. But I sent that, and I couldn't help it. Like, what do you think?
Happens.
So real quick, Bruce, we're gonna step aside and I guess pay some proverbial bills. I guess
Gotta pay the bills.
gotta pay those bills. All right, real quick. Getting your music your way has never been easier with Audilus. Search AUDILOUS on your device and select your station or podcast from rock, country, top 40, hip hop, and more. With 17 different radio stations to choose from, Audilus is your place for FM sounding radio with fewer commercials. With those other music services, we're all tired of being forced to hear so many ads without paying for a subscription, right? Well, Audilus might be what you're looking for. Search AUDILOUS in the Google or Apple Store today and enjoy free premium radio and podcasts right at your fingertips. Audilus, your music, your way. What is so funny?
I can't help it. I'm sitting here. I got Grogu over here. I got some little fat pig eating you. I just thought it was funny. I can't. I can't. I forgot we're.
Funny.
Oh my God! I forgot we're live on the Leprechaun Connection.
Live, dude, man.
Oh, okay. Sorry, everybody. That's how I mess with Mike when he's doing weird stuff that you don't get to actually hear on the podcast. That's what I kind of do.
See, what Bruce doesn't know, that I change screens, and when I do my live reads, I can't see Bruce, so he thinks he's doing something, but he's actually not.
Oh, that is not cool. I didn't know that.
I am messing up my play like a champion sign back here because there we go.
Yeah. You're lucky I can't find my turtle right now. I got a big frog and it's got I'll pull it out next time.
All right, Bruce. So with all the crazy conference realignment that's been going on, what does that mean for the Irish?
Honestly, nothing. Notre Dame's been very, very upfront with this. My opinion on what's going on versus what it affects Notre Dame. Notre Dame is very, very adamant about staying independent. When it comes to the Under Armour deal and what they're making from that, which is a record-setting amount. And then you're talking about the new NBC deal they're working out, and NBC is doing everything they can to lock us back up. And why wouldn't they? It, you know, this whole thing comes down to one thing: they need Notre Dame. Notre Dame doesn't need a conference. When it comes to the money deals, the Under Armour deal, things like that, the ability to schedule who we want when we want. Like I said, we have a up and coming home and home against Alabama. We've got Ole Miss coming up soon. I mean, there's a lot of games that we can schedule that a lot of these conference teams can't do, especially when you look at these power conferences that are being exploited, like Big Ten now. You're talking about Washington, Oregon, USC, UCLA, plus the regular guys: Ohio State, Michigan State, Purdue, Rutgers, Northwest, all of them. I mean, they don't have that ability to go out and sign 4 or 5 different teams to play, whereas Notre Dame can spread. I can't even think of the word, not the image and likeness, but the brand. They can spread the Notre Dame brand to the West Coast, down south, to the East Coast. They can go anywhere, and that's something that we can sell to these recruits is, look, we're not tied to conference affiliation. We can go anywhere we want, play whoever we want, whenever we want. And the fact with NBC, you're on national television for every home game. That's a lot of that going on. So when I look at the realignment and, the new athletic director coming in is even saying the same thing, he goes, that's not in our plans right now. Let everything unfold the way it's going to do. But I don't think it means nothing for Notre Dame.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I don't think it means a thing, especially with the 12-team playoff.
Oh yeah,
year. That's even more reason not to join a conference.
Yeah, a two-loss team and you're in.
Right, even a 3-loss. I mean, you're at 12, and depending on how bad those losses are and who they're against.
Right.
That basically would put you in the having a 12-team playoff. That basically puts you in the playoff just about every year. Unless you have an off year like 2016, or last year, maybe, I don't remember what we finished last year in the rankings, but after the regular season, if we would have been put at 9-4, what were we? 8-3 for the regular season. So
8-4.
8-4. So if we would have been eligible for the 12-team playoff last year, so
it might
I
have
don't
been,
remember, but I'd have to go back and look. But yeah, then if you're going to be in the playoff just about every year, there's no need. Again, that's even more reason to not join a conference. But what really cracks me up is a lot of these people that says things like Notre Dame's not relevant. Look, you're talking about them, which means they are, idiot.
Exactly. Anyway. And you know what I love about the Notre Dame brand? Obviously, we had the big Gator Bowl victory over South Carolina. I was there. We actually had a Leprechaun Connection tailgate. We had a lot of folks show up. One that I continue to talk to on a daily, well, not a daily. I talked to Mike Gallagher, one of our members, quite a bit. We're going to try to get together. He lives down here in Florida with me. We're going to watch a Notre Dame game, have kind of like a good time, just see what's going on. It's just that Notre Dame fans are so friendly no matter where you go, and you can meet them anywhere.
Right.
And that's the thing. I don't care where I've been. In fact, my daughter Sydney just told me a story. She had some car trouble up there in Buchanan, Michigan. Car broke down. She's a single lady just sitting there freaking out. She's a girl. She has some car trouble. Some guy stopped his car to check on her. Are you okay? She's like, yeah, I don't know. He's like, just relax. Everything will be okay. Leaves, comes back to even check on her. You know what? Guy's wearing a Notre Dame jersey. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Notre Dame is everywhere. That's the thing about our brand is we are everywhere. We're on the West Coast, East Coast, down south, up north. When I lived in Italy, I ran into Italian Notre Dame fans.
Wow, dude.
You know what I'm saying? They're everywhere. So the Notre Dame brand sells itself. So, you can take all your conference affiliations and all that, and it has nothing to do with affiliations. And I want to play this team. You're talking about USC and UCLA trying to play a whole bunch of East Coast teams. The travel alone is going to be a nightmare for those guys.
You'll find out real quick on what it's
Yeah,
like to travel like a rock band.
exactly. Notre Dame doesn't have that problem. Notre Dame, we're going to go play where we want to play when we want to
And you
play.
know what's really funny is that a lot of their fan bases are going to probably bring that up and how it's not going to be fair, that all the traveling, this and that or whatever, all the same time, not realizing that that's what Notre Dame does.
Yeah,
That's what
they do.
And
That's
then say, well, their schedule is so easy. Okay. Well, they also
yeah.
travel a lot.
Yeah,
So,
let's talk about easy. We played a number 3 team in the country, number 6 team in the country, number 9 team in the country in the first 7 games of the season.
yeah, but overrated.
Yeah, I'm so sick of that. It's all right. Marcus Frame is bringing a new attitude to Notre Dame. I'm on board. Most fans are on board. The players are definitely on board, and the Leprechaun Connection is on board.
Yes, indeed. All right, last topic here. So last week, Sean and I talked about the biggest game on the ND schedule. My pick was Ohio State. Sean was USC. What's your take? What's your pick?
Well, since you two donkeys decided to take 2 big games off the schedule, I'm not going to repeat anything. All 3 of these are going to be big games, and I'm going to add Clemson to that. But honestly, I truly do believe out of those 3 teams, Clemson is going to be the big test for us. Not only because Clemson is Clemson, but you're going on the road to a hostile environment, which is going to be our first road real challenge of the season. Caleb Williams, USC. God, I believe you, Sean. I know why you picked them. I mean, a lot of fans would, a lot of experts would. Ohio State, I get that. First big test of the year. It's at home. What a better way to start the season than being the number 3 team in the country. But I think USC is going to not USC. I'm sorry. Clemson is going to pose its own challenges. We're going to be on the road, hostile environment to a really good football team. We're going to learn a lot about the team, by then. Obviously, I've already played USC and Ohio State, and we'll know where the season's headed at that point. But that game really kind of scares me. I don't like road matchups, especially when it comes to Clemson, because I do remember going down there and getting a little butt whooping. So,
yeah, one of the reasons why Sean brought it up on why USC is our biggest game, because we got Ohio State at home on the 23rd, right? Then you travel to Duke, and then you travel to Louisville back to back, and then you come back home to face USC at night. On the challenges of going back to back on the road. Now, that challenge could also be challenging because depending on how you play against Ohio State. I mean, if we get our butts whooped, that's different. But if we win a close one or if we lose a close one,
because also we're competitive.
If we win a close one against Ohio State, and it ends up being like the top story of college football, the biggest story in college football, right? Notre Dame tops Ohio State. Traveling to Duke and traveling to Louisville back to back, those could be a lot tougher than what we expect and what we anticipate because of the hangover, and
right?
Then coming back to play USC.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't realize is that's what we call trap games. You gotta let's say we go ahead and beat Ohio State. I don't care what the score is. Let's just say we beat Ohio State.
Right.
You got Duke on the road. Okay, you have the possibility of a letdown game. Right. Okay, let's say you blow by Duke. Now you're starting to think we got USC coming up. Well, Don't sleep on Louisville. Never sleep on Louisville.
Right.
It's on the road, and you never know what can happen. And again, it's college football. You never know what's going to happen on any given Saturday. Anybody can beat anybody.
You got USC at home, And then you have Pitt at home, and Pitt always plays physical. They always play us tough. And then we travel to Clemson.
Yep. And like I said, we'll know after the Ohio State game
Who we
where this
really are.
season is. Yeah, who we are and where the season's going, because hands down, Ohio State has been there for the last 10 years or more. They're an upper echelon team. They're a top
Right.
5 team. We played them decent last year. We played them tight. We had some issues, but we have Sam Hartman now, and I'm not saying that Sam Hartman's a godsend or anything like that. I'm just saying he's a more experienced quarterback. He's a more accomplished quarterback than what we've had the last few years. So if we can go out there and offensively set the tone, defensively, which I think we're going to surprise some people, led by Benjamin Morrison in the defensive backfield. I that's my test. If I'm not saying we're going to manhandle Ohio State. Don't get me wrong, but if we can beat Ohio State in a decent game, then we got some momentum leading up to that USC game. Well, in October, you never know what the weather's going to be. So where everybody should be praying for some sleet, snow, rain, whatever you got to do. Get through that game, leads you to that Clemson game, which is going to be the ultimate game right there. But at the same time, I mean, we could lose one of any of those 3 games as long as we win the other 2, and we're still in playoff hunt. So don't everybody jump ship as soon as one of those games turns south.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Well, final thoughts.
Man, I talk too much for you to give me an open-ended question like that.
Tell you what, I'll let you think of something, and I'll read our wrap-up notes. All right, folks,
There
if
you
you
go.
like this podcast, please subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend, tell a neighbor. We really do appreciate it. Also, please check out our Patreon. Go to patreon.com and search Leprechaun Connection. It's just $3 a month, just for general support. It does help keep this podcast going. It also helps fund tailgates and watch parties that we provide food for. And we really do appreciate it. Also, check out that Donate to St. Jude link. That link for St. Jude donations is still up and running. We raised, I don't remember. I don't have the total in front of me, but we raised several $100s for St. Jude last year at events at watch parties. We did the whole pie in the face thing where you pay $5, throw a pie in Sean's face, and then all the proceeds went to St. Jude. We had a lot of success actually at Jay's Lounge in Niles and Finney's in downtown South Bend. We raised a pretty decent amount of money there, and we sent that check out. It was back in the spring. We sent it out. So, yeah, Bruce, final thoughts.
My final thought right here is just one thing to kind of pump everybody up. I've been reading a lot about these fall practices. It's hard to really tell. You get so many different takes from so many different beat writers. What I like the most about it is them talking about Steve Angeli as the backup and how much he's really coming along as a backup quarterback, because he's literally one snap away from being the starter at the University of Notre Dame.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, you want to have 4 scholarship quarterbacks on your roster. We only have 3. So we got Steve Angeli, we got Minchie. There is a walk-on. I can't remember his name, but he's not bad either. But they're talking about the fact that Angeli and Minchie are getting the better reps, more reps with the first string, second string, because of the fact we only have 3 instead of 4.
Yeah, you have to, man.
So, yeah. And, our quarterback room is one thing that, in my opinion, has never been a strong suit for Notre Dame. Yeah, you get a quarterback in there on a case. Yeah, Jimmy Clausen, Brady Quinn, these guys that come in. Phil Jukovic. He was Jerkovic. I call him Jerkovic for a reason, but anyway,
right.
He came in. He was the next, Joe Montana. But the trend we're seeing right now with Minchie and Angeli, we got Hartman in there, we got Carr coming in, and now we're kind of a front runner for Deuce Knight, who's going to be a highly anticipated quarterback. So it is nice to see, and that I put all that on the head coach Marcus Freeman and his coaching staff is getting our recruiting up and running, and that's an area I'm not really worried about anymore. It's kind of nice to see for a change.
Yes, sir. Yeah, really excited. We are how many days away now from kickoff? We are recording this on Saturday.
20
March 5th.
days. Oh,
Yeah.
20 days, brother.
Ooh, yeah. 2:30
That
p.m. Eastern kickoff.
Yeah, that means 2 more Saturdays without Notre Dame football.
Yes. And
Oh my
also a
gosh.
quick update. We have made a formal request to Mark Edwards to come on the show. So hopefully that will be our next podcast. We'd love to have him on, we like to interview former players and talk about their time at Notre Dame, what it was like attending and playing football, some of their fondest memories on campus, their favorite, spots on campus, that kind of thing. And then we just want to kind of pick their brain on their take on the upcoming season. So we just, really excited for that. Hopefully, it works out. Hopefully our schedules will align and we can pull this off because, Bruce, you've mentioned that you've been trying to get this guy for an interview for how long?
Me and Mark have been talking for about 4 years. We're we keep missing each other at tailgates, at different events. So we're gonna make this one happen. We also might be able to. I've been talking to a former stadium director at the University of Notre Dame.
Oh yeah.
I thought that'd be kind of a fun guest to have on the show. So you guys can kind of hear some of his fun stories over the years. Just a different perspective on Notre Dame football for all you fans out there.
Yeah, that would be a good interview. That'd be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, buddy. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Visit our Facebook page to stay on top of everything Irish, and to our friends here in the Michiana area and to our friends all across Irish Nation. Thank you so much for listening. And for Bruce Ruff, I'm Mike McClure. And join us here next time right here on the Leprechaun Connection podcast. And everybody says, go Irish.
Go Irish, baby.
Whoop, whoop.